As a manager of financial advisors, you want to build a culture of success. You want to build a team that does well in the business. And to do that, there are 5 systems that you need to adopt and processes that you need to support that and tools you need to adopt to reinforce that. A system is sort of a global methodology, a process is what you say and do, and a tool is what you have to reinforce each of those systems. So the 5 systems are recruiting, selecting, onboarding, training, and coaching. So let's look at each one of those. You need to go out there and find talent. So you can use different methodologies to find those people. You can do ads, you can do Facebook, you can do Instagram, you can do seminars, you can do referrals from one person to another. Without question, referrals are the strongest source of it because they give you quality and quantity, where the other methodologies give you quantity but not necessarily quality. And so to support that process of going out there to find those people, you need to have a tool. In this case, the tool is a profile. A profile of the ideal financial advisor includes some things. What I typically include is, one is the age. I want to make sure they're old enough so they gain the respect of the customer. If they're too young, they may get discounted by the customer and not listened to. So age is certainly in there. We know that most people who buy our products are in relationships, so it probably is a good idea that your candidate is in a relationship. Next is that we want to ensure that the individual who comes in our business is somewhat extroverted, so they feel comfortable interacting with people.
So at first I wanted to ride the roller coaster at Coney Island, so I called Coney Island and they said, hey, take a hike at 12.
And they are socially mobile, meaning that they move within society. They're involved in their church, involved in sports, they're involved in clubs and associations, whatever, where they're out meeting people on a regular basis. And so that's recruiting, is having a profile of the ideal and using a process that brings people to the table. Once you have a number of people, now you begin the selection process, which is the next system. Selection, again, is taking them through a process of joint discovery. You walk with them down that path of discovery, so at some point they make an informed decision and you make an informed decision. So I would tell potential candidates that I am not offering you a job at this point. I'm offering you the opportunity to walk a process with me, and as we walk the process, we're going to determine whether it's something you want to do, and I'm going to determine whether it's something you should do. That's the selection process. Part of that would be a profile. Part of that can be a number of questions that help you understand their current situation, their desired situation, why they might want to come into business. That's the system, process, and tool selection, what you say and do, and then the profile as a reinforcement. Next is, once they've decided to join your team, now you have to onboard them. And often what you would do is you'd have a roadmap, which is a process and a tool. And so it'd be a document that could show the individual the things they need to learn, the things they need to practice, the meetings they have to attend to develop their skills. The process is actually when you do all of those things, when you bring them into the team and they begin to put on the suit, if you want, of a financial advisor, of being in the business and being a financial advisor, and how do they get to that point. And then next, after onboarding, we move to training. How do we train them? Well, the greatest tool you have, the greatest process you have as a manager of financial advisors is role-playing, where you put them in the position where they have to demonstrate what they know or don't know, and you fill in the blanks after. So you could do that formally in your group training, where you get them to role-play different parts of the sales process, a process where they're out trying to find individuals to talk to, their telephone call, whatever part of the process that you're demonstrating, they would role-play with one another. It's a safe environment. They make mistakes. It doesn't matter. They haven't lost an opportunity to meet with someone. And then I use role-playing on a regular basis. If an advisor comes up to me and asks me a question, I'm having trouble on the telephone, I'm having trouble getting referrals, I'm having trouble with the first appointment, whatever, I would say, okay, if you're having trouble getting referrals, ask me for referrals. If you're having trouble on the telephone, call me. And then I would see where they are. What I would be doing is actually using a mini gap analysis in my mind. I'd be going, okay, where are they today and where do I want them to be and how do do I get them to that point? And so role playing is very powerful. And I really encourage managers, whenever they interact with a team, when they're struggling with anything, the team member's struggling, that they immediately go to role playing. So role playing, and the tool you use in role playing, at the end of the role play, you use a tool called the plus delta, where you talk about what they've done well, and you get them to talk about what they've done well to reinforce the step they are in the stage they're moving towards the desired situation. Then you ask them the delta, what would they change? The plus of what they've done well, and delta, what would they change? Okay, so that's the training side of it. And now they're out there actually doing it. They've learned what they've learned, they've memorized, they've practiced with you, they've role played, and now they're out in front of the customer. This is where you coach them. You can coach them before and after an event. You can also participate in the event. You could attend the face-to-face meeting, or you could sit in on a Zoom meeting. It's really important you do that when you're actually present, when the advisor's actually meeting with a customer, that you're introduced as a colleague, not as the manager. And you want the colleague to do the process and have the relationship with the customer. They don't need a relationship with you, because if you're introduced as a manager, of course, the customer is going to deal with you rather than deal with the advisor. You may sometimes just sit in on a Zoom meeting, if that's the methodology you're using, and your camera will be dark and you won't comment. The advisor can just say that I've got a colleague sitting in, and if there's an issue, I may call upon him. Okay? So again, to build this culture of success, you need those 5 systems: recruiting, selection, onboarding, training, and coaching. And behind each one of those systems, you need processes. And to support those processes, you need some tools. I wish you the best.